newest Rebel fighter, the B-Wing. Like all my starfighters, this one is scaled down and very streamlined, and this only sits about 2 inches tall when on the ground. And it does actually have retractable landing gear, which can be deployed from the center engine area as well as the wing. And even when it lands and the landing gear is deployed, it only sits about 2 inches off the ground. This thing is so flat and sandwiched, but yet very accurate, and this was a very challenging build. The reason this was so difficult is that all the details of this ship are all jam-packed into the center engine area, and it's very tough to get all the details to fall all in the right places. But somehow I managed it, and this main wing on this side is actually only 4 plates stacked in height. There's 2 main pieces that made this build possible. This new curved angled brick allowed for the B-Wing to have the proper wing to engine integration and have the right curves around both sides of the main wing. The other really important piece were these whole Technic plate pieces, and they allowed for these wings to properly fold into the proper slot of the main wing and go past 90 degrees, but then hit the proper spot when it fully expands the S-foil.
Lock S-foils and attack positions.
And if it wasn't for this brick, these wings would be hinge pieces and they would only go to the 90-degree spot, and it's just not quite accurate. The wings really do need to have that extra little couple degrees going into the main wing. Unfortunately, I don't have a B-Wing pilot because I don't want to spend $20 on a minifigure. But the pilot that I have in there sits in nicely, and you'll see that there's just some nice little detailing, although it's very minimal, but it should fit most minifigures that don't have a crazy big alien mold head or something like that. You'll notice that the cockpit has a nice rotating feature to it, just like we've seen in the other Playscale sets that we've received in the past. And as long as you don't push it together too tightly, the cockpit will rotate very nicely as the ship turns. You'll notice that the top portion of the B-Wing is very tiled off wherever possible, and this is very brick built. It's just stacking the bricks, and again, it's only 4 plates tall. This just had to be done this way because I really want to achieve a very slim B-Wing. So that means that the underside is covered with some anti-studs, which is not ideal, especially for a ship that is all-encompassing and very gyroscopic. I thought about particular snot techniques, but it just widens up the building technique. And I think this is very appropriate even with the anti-studs that are shown. And we are getting more inverted tiles. We don't have enough yet. I wish we had more inverted tile selections. And this retractable landing gear in the wing works really well, and you even have the anti-stud of the orange circle. I love this orange against the sand blue. And again, there's another piece I wish LEGO would come out with more of, the sand blue pieces. Just like the inverted tiles, we need more of the sand blue. I was limited by a few sand blue pieces that we need and the inverted tiles, and I wish we had more of those in the LEGO collection. Like with most of my models, this is built very strong, but not the most kid-friendly. I would kind of put it up there with my TIE Interceptor, where if you grab it in the wrong place, it's going to put some damage on the Legos or things are going to fall off. So, you know, it is very strong in the middle section. You can grab up here and right there, but if you grab here and you start to tilt the B-Wing, you can kind of see some bending in the plates. And LEGO is very strong, but it's just not good to do that. And it feels very awkward. You don't want to be holding it down there anyways, because the weight's all shifting as you start to, you know, hold it down here and let it take the weight. But, you know, it's so strong that I can even hold it by the cannons, and all the studs pulling together have no problem holding this up. But again, it's strong in most areas, and it is going to be very swooshable for those who want to pick it up and move it around. So this model is about 652 pieces, and the cost to build, I have some bad news and then I have some good news. The cost to build is around $85 currently on Bricklink, and the reason for that is because there's some newer pieces in this that are not widely available.
Pull up! All craft, pull up!
So, My advice to those out here in the current year is go to Pick-a-Brick, because the new pieces of the curved angled bricks and the plates with the holes for the Technic pins, they are available currently on Pick-a-Brick. And Pick-a-Brick is just unpredictable as far as what their inventory is going to be like tomorrow or next month or next year. So if you want to save money and you want to build this now, go to Pick-a-Brick, use Brick Hunter to find out what is on Pick-a-Brick for the right prices and what you can get on Bricklink, and you will save a lot more money that way, because currently I would not recommend building this solely from Bricklink, but I did want to let you know there are ways to save money, especially on newer pieces, which are currently up on Pick-a-Brick, and you should definitely take advantage of Pick-a-Brick for not only this build, but other builds with other designers.
We're on our way. Red group, gold group, all fighters follow me. I told you they'd do it.
Like with most all my builds, I did create a custom stand for this, and it really displays the model in a very nice way. You'll notice that there's some studs that go into the inverted studs on the bottom, and it points the ship's biggest wing upwards, so it's above the cockpit. And I really love this orientation, and it really makes it an X as it's flying into battle. I think the most comparable LEGO ships I've built to this model is the X-Wing and the TIE Interceptor, and I'm very happy to say that I have a new Red 5 design that is updated from my previous Blue Leader. Look out for that video coming soon, because this is an update of that model, and I think there's some features that you guys are gonna like.
Proceed with the countdown.
But let's focus on the B-Wing and its design and how these ships compare. I think that the X-Wing looks really good next to it, and the X-Wing doesn't look too long with its wingspan. It doesn't outsize the B-Wing, which is around 14 inches long in length with its main wing. The X-Wing just looks really good. It's around 1/45th scale, maybe 1/48th, and I know the B-Wing is 1/48th scale, so these are coming in at just the right size. But let's take a look at the TIE Interceptor, and again, this is feeling really good. This feels very comparable. It looks like and feels like the movie, and I'm really happy with how my Starfighter ships are all kind of meshing together with the right scale. And lastly, let's take a look at the Millennium Falcon next to the B-Wing. It looks pretty good. You know, the B-Wing's very long. I think it's just a little bit wider than the Falcon. One of the difficulties I'm going to have with putting this video together is we don't have a lot of source material of the B-Wing, because if you're a Star Wars nerd, you know that the B-Wing was supposed to be a much more featured ship, but the wings were so thin that they were disappearing on the blue screen in those scenes. But I really do love this ship. It is such a cool ship that we get to see just a glimpse of. And when I was a kid, just thinking like, oh wow, what is this very odd and unusual starfighter where it opens up and can fly in any orientation? And it is a capital ship killer. So it comes in and it really takes out those Star Destroyers, because I believe the weapon system down here in the bottom really has the arsenal to take down those capital ships. And I'm just so happy I was able to give it the right justice with this LEGO design.